Your voice is not ignored, and where the conversation is always worth having. That place is KBLA Talk 1580, LA's progressive talk radio home. A safe space for real talk about the issues shaping our lives and our future. Because now, more than ever, our voices need to be heard. KBLA Talk 1580. Tune in live on the radio at 1580 AM, on our website at KBLA1580.com. Or on our free KBLA 1580 app.
Unapologetically progressive.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique the Prima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of black talk radio, Dominique the Prima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DePrima. The show is called First Things First. And my very first every single day, my very first thing is prayer. Prayer. Giving thanks, giving praises, asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. We got a lot to do, a lot to talk about. Woo! Election season is right now, which is wild. Have you filled out your ballot? Have you sent it in? Nah, neither have I. And so we have a great and really helpful show today if you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your election life. You'll get a lot of info today. It's a Freedman Friday, so that means we talk reparations, of course, but you knew that. Okay, so hour one, we look local, left coast side of town. Hour two, we do our Freedman Friday reparations. Today we'll be talking with Senator Steve Bradford, who is a reparations all-star, and he's going to give us his insights on the reparations agenda for election 2026. So that'll be something to listen to. And then we'll be speaking with Reverend Ray Wong. She is running for mayor of LA. She'll join us. We have had almost all of the mayoral candidates on, but more on that to come. But right now, it's every other Friday, and we didn't even coordinate our outfits. We're just on the same wavelength. It's time for labor activist, a KBLA contributor, Sherri Bell. Good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. Good morning, KBLA fam.
Yeah, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling all right.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's Memorial Day weekend. I'm about to turn up. I didn't create space for that this year.
I got you. I don't think I'm going to be turning up. I think I'll be turning in. Like old folks do, like the hip hop generation.
Oh man,
I'll be happy to be home and chilling.
Right.
That is a privilege. I hope you get to get some rest this weekend. Sounds like not, but
I think I might have inadvertently created space for rest, whether I liked it or not.
Oh Lord. Okay, well, sleep is underrated. That's all I got to say about that.
Right. True.
So yeah, and it's less than 2 weeks now until the last day to vote, which is June 2nd.
Jeez Louise.
I have to make some corrections before I forget. So on yesterday, I said that, well, you know what? I'll do it. I'll do it after news, traffic, and sports because I got to make sure I have all my stuff together. But
Let me take some notes here.
some of the judges that I said did not appear on this show actually did because they were on with James when I was on vacation, and I forgot. So I'm going to make that correction. Make sure you know who showed up for you. But so we were scheduled, Sherri Bell, to have Councilmember Nithya Raman to come on Tuesday and tell us about her mayoral bid. She was on our calendar. We had been going back and forth forever trying to get that confirmed. We finally confirmed it. She's on the calendar for Tuesday. And yesterday they just canceled.
No reason, no explanation.
They're kind of busy right now.
You know, I don't know. I feel some kind of way when people don't show up for black media.
I feel some kind of way about that too. And I also feel like that I when people tell me they're going to do something and then they switch up on me, that's a problem for me. You know, I get it if you're sick or there's an accident, but now you did it and now we got a better offer, or is it that you don't care about the black vote, or maybe you just think everybody's going to vote the same way? You know, we'll vote for Bass because it's a black thing, identity politics. Or maybe you don't want to talk to Dominique because she sometimes has questions that people don't want to answer. I don't know what it is. Yeah. But to me, it's very disrespectful.
What else you got to do this early in the morning? Between 7 and 6, 7, 8, 9. You know, like why you just couldn't come on the show? That's nobody's having meetings that early in the morning. And I mean, it would have been different if they would have offered a date, another date. You know, it wouldn't have been so bad. Like, well, we can't come. I'm sorry, but are you available this day?
Oh, we've already been through that. And then the other thing is, you know, we would bend over backwards. I don't even tape shows. I do everything live. But if we have to do that, we'll do that because we want people to hear from everyone. But no, they're just too busy right now.
Yeah, so
they're too busy for you, Black LA.
Right, you're too busy, but no.
Yeah, and you know, to me, I mean, and I always want to, you know, right now, like I've told people many times, we're not endorsing the KBLA, the main KBLA, like Weekday Talent, where management has asked us not to endorse. But to me, if you are a person who endorsed someone and then at the last minute you decided, nah, I'm going to run instead. And that someone rallied black women behind you to save your council seat, then I want to hear your side of the story. Right. Because to me, that sounds like I wouldn't trust you in the future. Like, you know what I mean? If you had a friend that did that to you, would you trust them in the future?
I would feel blindsided. I mean, I'm pretty sure that I think they might have found out when the world found out that the person was running.
And here's the other thing, like, you know, do you got to follow your path, but I want to hear your side of the story. Right. It wasn't just a story between the mayor and a council member who has been, you know, known to be a progressive and someone that we've, you know, championed and rallied behind and voted for in the past. It was, to me, it was a covenant between you and black LA, especially black women, who really stepped up to make sure she kept her seat.
Yeah, not only that, and that's, you know, that's pretty bad. And like, you know, it's good for the person to help me understand, right? Right. But you can't say you love LA and not love all of LA. You know, you can't ignore like a outlet that speaks to Black Los Angeles, a historic Black Los Angeles that's done so much to build this city, and just disregard our voice, our platforms. I heard her say that recently, that I love LA. But you can't love LA and do things like that. I'm sorry.
Well, the I love LA may be a pushback to what I don't know if any other progressives have been saying, but I know I've been saying it. I imagine some progressives have been saying it, which is that all of these candidates running around talking about, oh, LA's a hell. It's a living hellscape. It's, you know, it's the picture that they paint. Like when Raman said she was going to run, that was her justification. LA's going to hell in the handbasket, which is the same thing that every single conservative says. You know, the streets are on fire with protests and the homeless are everywhere. And if I was from out of town, I wouldn't want to come here. But LA is beautiful. Yes. And you know what? Crime is down. Now, I'm not saying there's no problems. Yes, we have the unhoused. Yes, the rent is too damn high.
Right.
We do have problems. Name a big city that doesn't.
Exactly. And what are you looking at the real root causes of the problems? Because I know that black people are 32% of the unhoused population in the city, while only making up around less than 10% of the population. So you want to say LA is going to hell, but why? Let's start by coming on a black show and talking about what you want to do to address black disparities in LA, right? I mean, I just, and I feel like we have to also second guess narratives, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Because when we think about like LA, is all going to crap, right? We have to really take a second look at that. We have to take a second look at what people say about progressives and how we don't know and we're leaderless and we're lost. Like those types of narratives.
Yeah, because to me that is, speaking of talking points, that is the conservative playbook. Mm-hmm. That's how they pass Prop 36. That's how they passed the 3 strikes. That's how they got Nathan Hochman in office. They try to scare you. Mm-hmm. Oh, everything's terrible. Really? Well, then why do you pay such high rent or high mortgage to stay here?
Right.
Everything is not terrible. We have beautiful weather. There's always something to do here. Mm-hmm. There's great people, amazing restaurants. I'm from the Bay and I love the Bay, but I'm not moving back. Why? Because LA is awesome.
See?
And yes, we have problems. Name a big city that doesn't. Name a little city that doesn't.
Right.
Name a hole-in-the-wall crap joint that you don't want to live in that don't have problems. It's cheap, but do you want to live there?
Right. The vibes are off. The
vibes are off, for sure. I don't know. I'm tired of everyone. Oh, LA's terrible. LA's... Yeah, we can fix the problems that we do have, and we will fix them.
Yeah.
But I also think that it's interesting. Every other mayoral candidate has made time to come in here, except Spencer.
I was about to say,
Pratt.
Well, he was right in the hood the other day.
Yeah,
and having a cookout.
Yeah, someone invited him to the cookout.
Somebody invited him to the cookout.
Somebody told me they were just there for the free food.
Oh, wow. Well, that's, I don't know. But, yeah, I don't trust that at all. But, yeah, no, Spencer Pratt does not have any. If you're a listener of KBLA, I'm pretty sure his agenda do not have your best interest in mind when it comes to policy at all.
I mean, he just got, love from Trump. It's not an official endorsement, but he said he hopes he wins.
Yeah.
And then there was another crazy one. I got to remember it. He got another crazy. The people backing this guy, tell the story.
It's ridiculous. I mean, if you like cuts to your health care, if you like people dismantling programs that are supposed to just give you a somewhat of a slight way into accessing somewhat of a decent income, like anything, any program, any policy that's aimed at addressing systemic racism or discrimination or unfairness, he attacked it on day one, resulting in like 315,000 plus black women losing their jobs. We have all these government employees laid off, while on the other end, you are wasting government money on jets, crab legs. So if you want more bad policy, more corporate greed, more mismanagement and corruption, then I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be biased. I'm not saying like I'm a Democrat for life, but I look at the policies, and oftentimes the policies of the other party are detrimental to my livelihood and people I care about livelihood.
Yeah, and as Speaker Willie Brown said to us, a group of us that were talking to him, you look at a person's policies, and then you also look at what have they actually accomplished, right? What have they gotten done?
Yeah.
Because the policies are important. As Dr. Melina Abdullah says, we have to have something to hold people accountable to what they claim they were going to do on their platform. But on the other hand, have they actually ever done anything like that? And with Spencer Pratt, the answer is clearly no. What has he done? He's blown $10 million of his own personal fortune and done a reality show.
Yeah.
Bought and sold a bunch of crystals. I mean, I love crystals, but does it qualify you to be mayor? No.
It's horrible, like the way that money is able to slightly convince and manipulate people into voting. This man has zero political experience, advocated for zero policy.
I'm going to go a little further. I don't think it's just the money. I think this is white privilege.
Oh, of course.
This is like if white privilege was a person.
Oh, yes, no. And my friend, she's on Nextdoor, the app.
Speaking of white privilege.
Yeah, and she says like
the Karen app.
Yeah, she says a lot of those neighbors that are white neighbors, not to say all white people. I hope white people just don't vote for Spencer because he's white. But that
would be identity politics.
Right. They're going for him. Like people like he's a viable option for some people, even with no political experience, no policy advocacy experience, just a great mouthpiece, great talking points, great condemning of the black mayor of LA. Like, he's saying all the right things, but this is a job, people.
Yep, it's a job. All right, we're going to keep it going, and you're welcome in. 800-920-1580, that's the number, 800-920-1580, just like, our radio station location. And you can jump in the YouTube chat, which is also KBLA 1580. We're streaming on Facebook. We're everywhere. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I love days like these at the pool, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. I'm ready to make a splash with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza. Skyrizi is a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. At 4 months, most people saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe, and many were even 100% plaque-free. People also saw significant improvement in psoriasis symptoms of pain, redness, itching, and burning.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Now there's nothing on my skin thanks to Skyrizi, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, host of The Voice of Reason, weeknights at 7 p.m. here on KBLA Talk 1580, with a personal invitation for you to join me and Insight.me as we present The Healing Box, live at Inglewood's world-famous Miracle Theater, Saturday evening, May 23rd at 7 p.m. Look, I understand your attachment style has been running your life like a rogue algorithm, and nobody has had the courage to press pause. Until now, Dr. Bakoya McCall and yours truly are curating a night where clinicians, spiritualists, and an all-star panel of Black woman healers like Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford, Dr. Jashana Johnson, and spiritualist Precious McGill will join some amazing spoken word artists and the legendary comedian Louis Dix to diagnose, disrupt, and heal your relational wreckage in real time. Listen, bring your trauma. As a matter of fact, bring your baby mama. No, bring your testimony. And if you're still texting your ex at 2 a.m., baby, you're not just invited, you're the target demo. Tickets are moving fast, so grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before your dating history gets flagged as a pre-existing condition. That's themiracleinglewood.com. We'll see you there Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
Right now, KBLA Talk 1580. We are talking about whatever you want to talk about. So call us at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. I was telling Sherri Bell, I love it when you come in, Sherri. You always have such great energy. That, Nithya Raman decided that KBLA wasn't worth her time. Yeah. So she canceled on us on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And every other mayoral candidate is making time except Spencer Pratt. But that's not at all surprising because he's mini-me MAGA. And this is not exactly, MAGA country. Right. But nevertheless, if he wants to come, pull up, homie. Let's talk about it. I am open to all comers.
Right.
I want to hear what you have to say. Convince me, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to
For
be this
real.
big communicator. Convince me. I'm open-minded.
Right.
I'm a progressive, but I'm not a party hack.
Uh-huh.
I go what's best for my community.
Right.
And I happen to love LA, and I don't think it's going to hell in a handbasket. So therefore, tell me your plan. Oh, you're going to make it even better? Okay.
Right.
Tell me how.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
all he wants to do is make AI commercials depicting himself as a superhero.
Yeah, like the fire. Like, you want to talk about the fires? Like, she lit the fire with her own match. Like, that's all he got. See, Karen Bass, she has been a pretty consistent mayor, following through on her campaign promises. But unfortunately, the tragic fire that that occurred in January of 2025. That's the one thing that they have. Like, they'll take it. Like when Obama wore the tan suit, the tan jacket, they didn't have nothing on that man.
Well, they had the line in the sand. But here's the thing. I mean, here's the thing that the elephant in the room in the race is race.
Right,
because
of course.
Even if you look at the candidacy of Nithya Raman, and I admit I'm salty because she's canceling on us, which I think is a disrespect to black people. But the fact that she voted almost identical to Karen Bass for the whole time, and then breaks out and says, Karen Bass is doing a terrible job. Well, okay, so come and tell me what you mean by that, because honestly, what I see is somebody that voted in lockstep with the mayor. So why would we take a chance on you when you've never held national office or statewide elected office, which the mayor has, but yet you voted in lockstep with her? Tell me where's the differentiation? Because people think of her as a progressive. She was a DSA candidate when she first came in, but if you look at her voting record, it doesn't differ from the mayor's. So if I'm going to change horses in midstream, as they say, if I'm going to switch sides and vote for you, then why would I vote for you if you're exactly the same, only perhaps you switch sides?
Yeah, some
at the last minute.
Yeah, some of the things I don't know about her. Number one is like who's funding her campaign, who are the primary donors. I don't know that.
We can find that out.
Another thing I don't know,
I don't know
is
that either. But
what is some of the stuff that you did in your little district?
Well, she's a housing advocate, but I mean, like
results, like you trying to get a job and you've been, like you said, like pretty much in line with the mayor's policies. You haven't like had a big uproar in the position that you have, as far as I can see,
until you decide to run. Which
I
don't know.
Vote splitter.
Well,
vote splitter.
Well, we got a lot of people running for mayor because I've talked to most of them, and there's a lot of vote splitting. I don't know how many votes anyone's going to get. I know the main three are, Raman, Pratt, and of course the mayor, who continues, by the way, to lead in all the polls. But it's just fractured. Let's go to Miss Polk calling us from Inglewood, California. Good morning, Miss Polk.
Good morning. Good morning.
What's on your mind?
Well, it's not about the money across the board. It's about power and prestige. Mostly power. They feel like, I can do this. Well, let me tell you, Bass is not going nowhere. She's going to finish what she started. And I tell them all on social media, hey, take that money that you're spending on this campaign and do something for LA for the poor. For the homeless that you talk about, you can fix.
Yeah, Miss Polk, I know you also called about the governor's race, right?
Absolutely, and them too. It's ridiculous how many of them are running for governor. Please, give me a break, all right?
Yeah, but my contention has been if somebody's going to step down, it should be someone with a sizable number of votes who can make a difference. It should be Katie Porter or Tom Steyer or Javier Becerra. They're not going to step down. They're in the front of the pack. So anyway.
That's right. That's right. The rest of them. Yeah, there are three. I like Porter. I like Becerra. Okay. But Sire, listen, he made all his money on institutions, locking people up. All right? That's how he made his money. But now, okay, everybody does it. Well, we're not talking about everybody. We're talking about you that made your millions, okay? And they're always, what have you been doing before you signed on to be a mayor? Have you been?
He's trying to be governor, not mayor. Yeah, go ahead.
But
Sherri.
I do want to say that he did divest from that money and started to reinvest in, like, the Smart Justice endorsed him. So he has changed, course a while back before
2006,
this race.
actually.
Yeah, and he divested from those investments, and Smart Justice endorsed him for this campaign for his work in, like, criminal justice reform. So I just want to point that out.
Okay, well, we'll give him that. Okay, we'll give him that. But
So it sounds like you haven't made up your mind yet, Ms. Polk. You haven't made up your mind yet on governor?
Yes, I have.
Oh, you have? Okay. Which way are you going?
Oh, yeah, Becerra.
Okay, you're voting Becerra. Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. We have found a voter.
Okay.
Who has decided who they're voting for governor.
Yeah, I mean, like, I appreciate when Pastor Eddie was on here, he was giving a lot of his take on the governor candidates. And one thing, so I appreciate that. Like, I mean, at least if we do get him, he probably won't try to intentionally dismantle and disenfranchise.
Did you hear him on Smiley yesterday? He was on with Tavis Smiley. If you didn't, you can find it wherever you find your podcasts.
Oh, really?
Just like all of my election interviews, they're up. They're on YouTube. There's a link on the website. There you can find them. So, it was interesting because Tavis did ask him, what. Basically, he asked him his position on Black LA.
And what he said?
Well,
middle of the line, no answer.
No, he did answer. He said that. I'm going to paraphrase. He basically gave examples of black people that he had appointed in his various jobs to key positions. Okay. And then he said he didn't appoint them because they were black. They just happened to be black. Okay. And they were qualified, which. I don't know about that answer. Like, I'm glad you appointed black people.
But what's your plans as governor, though?
Yeah, well, there's that. But also, they just happen to be black is always weird to me. I don't understand that.
Right, like you don't see color or something. Like,
what does that mean?
Yeah, you got to be intentional.
I mean, I get that he's saying they were qualified for the job and it wasn't DEI.
Yeah, duh.
But just happened to be black is little odd to me.
The comment.
I don't understand it. All right, we got news, traffic, and sports, and then more on KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh boy.
Roll down the window, put down the top, crank up the Beach Boys, baby. Don't let the music stop. We gonna ride it till we just can't ride it no more. From the side.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions, this is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. President Trump has called off signing a new AI executive order, citing concerns it could slow U.S. innovation.
I didn't like certain aspects of it. I postponed it. I really thought that could have been a blocker, and I want to make sure that it's not.
The proposal would have required companies to submit new AI models for federal review, but Trump warned it could give China a competitive edge. Community leaders are gathering in Florida to preserve black cemeteries across the country. The Black Cemetery Network is hosting a conference in St. Petersburg to raise awareness and protect historic burial sites that have long been overlooked. And Spotify is rolling out a new way for fans to get concert tickets. Its Reserved program will hold tickets for top listeners, giving premium users a better shot at buying seats before they go on sale. The feature launches in the U.S. this summer. Get BIN News now, on demand, 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Recall 67A mobile appointments are now available in your area. We come to you, quick, easy, and under an hour. Complete the recall to get $500, plus a warranty worth thousands. Schedule today at CummonsRecall.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Rams are acting like they want to keep quarterback Matthew Stafford around for 2 more years. The 38-year-old Stafford is under contract for the coming season, but the Rams gave the reigning MVP a 1-year extension worth $55 million. The extension keeps Stafford under contract through the 2027 season if he chooses to play that long. San Antonio Spurs star Victor Wembanyama, in just his 3rd NBA season, has something in common with Lakers legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Wembanyama and Kareem are the only 2 players in NBA history with at least 60 points and 40 rebounds in the first 2 games of a conference final. Wembanyama has collected 62 points and 41 rebounds in the first 2 games against Oklahoma City. Kareem had 69 points and 40 rebounds in the first 2 games in the 1974 Western Conference Finals against Chicago when he was with Milwaukee. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
You need a place where your views are not dismissed, where your voice is not ignored, and where the conversation is always worth having. That place is KBLA Talk 1580, LA's progressive talk radio home. A safe space for real talk about the issues shaping our lives and our future. Because now, more than ever, our voices need to be heard. KBLA Talk 1580. Tune in live on the radio at 1580 AM, on our website at KBLA1580.com, or on our free KBLA 1580 app.
Unapologetically progressive.
Let me tell you something about Los Angeles. This city doesn't have small problems, so it damn sure doesn't need small, weak leadership. That's why I support Karen Bass. She walked into a system that was slow, broken, and reluctant to change. She cut through red tape and started moving people off the streets into housing. She created the Office of Community Safety to make our neighborhood safer, supported wage increases for many underpaid workers, expanded contract opportunities for small minority business, and signed an executive order to give formerly incarcerated people a second chance. Karen Bass is about real change. I'm Samuel L. Jackson, and I've seen a lot of people talk tough. Karen Bass is tough. That's why I'm voting for Karen Bass, and you should too. So vote today. You received your ballot in the mail by now. You don't even have to go to the polls. Just fill out your ballot and hand it to your postal worker. No stamp needed.
Paid for by re-elect Karen Bass for Mayor 2026, 445 South Figueroa Street, Suite 2400, Los Angeles, California, 90071. Funding details at ethics.lacity.gov.
Going to a World Cup match in LA this summer? Ditch the parking stress and ride Metro. With direct service from across LA County, it's the easy way to get there for just $1.75 each way.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. At the heart of the Al Wooten Center's mission for good citizenship and academic excellence is a desire to ensure that every student avoids the kind of lifestyle and overcomes the kinds of challenges that led to the murder of Al Wooten Jr. In 1990, founder Myrtle Fay Rumpf opened the center in honor of her son's life. In 2026, they are serving more than 300 students in grades 3 through 12 annually online and on site at their youth center and other sites in the South LA area. The Al Wooten Jr. Youth Center takes a neighborhood approach to the revitalization and empowerment of a community in crisis. The Wooten Center provides free after-school and summer programs to help students in grades 3 through 12 attain grade-level proficiency and promotion, high school graduation, and college and career access and success. The Al Wooten Center focuses on academics, STEM, the arts, and so much more. Join them for an enriching experience that sparks creativity and nurtures young minds. Tap in at wootencenter.org. That's wootencenter.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, so much to cover. Okay, so Sherri Bell, you're a labor activist, and I just happen to have the official voter guide for the LA County Federation of Labor. We can do good speed through it, and we'll land on anything you're particularly interested in. They have endorsed Karen Bass for mayor. We kind of talked about that race a little bit.
I'm with it, of course, and I'm kind of mad that in her commercial she said, I haven't gotten everything right. Don't tell them nothing. You don't hear nobody else saying they ain't did nothing right. But I'm you know what I'm saying?
I wondered about that line myself. It sounded like consultants talking to me.
Girl,
okay,
stop.
Nobody gets everything right.
Yeah, exactly.
You think Reardon did everything? You think Garza? Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so for LA County Sheriff, they're recommending Robert Luna.
I'm gonna try to switch that up a little bit. Yeah, I the Eric Strong guy, I'm gonna look a little bit more into him. Robert Luna, I don't know. I'm not like police. Like I don't care about switching somebody out. I don't care.
Well, what I will say is that there's an interview with Strong if you want to look into him. We've had a couple of the other candidates on as well, and it looks like we may be talking to Luna next week, so we'll see.
Yeah, I got to do my little research. I'm not like sold either way, and might leave it blank. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna pick one or the other.
They only endorse. They endorse in the LA County Board of Supervisors. They endorse Maria Elena Durazo for District 1, which makes sense because she was the head of the LA County Federation of Labor.
Oh yeah, no, she's. I can't vote for her because I don't live in District 1, but I hope she gets the job because she's pro labor and she's very progressive, and I think that she deserves your vote if you live in County District 1.
I'm not allowed to endorse, but there will be signs. I think what I will say about Maria Elena Durazo is that she worked very hard on the first Obama campaign before it was trendy. She was one of the loud Latina voices backing a black president.
Right.
And I'm going to leave that right there for y'all. Lindsay Horvath, they are supporting for District 3.
Well, I mean, I don't know who running against her, but I don't really know. I know she said some things I didn't like, but I mean, I feel like if people doing a decent job, give them a chance to finish their job. If somebody doing a decent job in the job, give them a chance to finish their agenda. That's what I say.
If for city attorney, they're picking Marissa Roy. They're going against the incumbent, which is pretty rare. Heidi Feldstein, Soto, is the current city attorney, and there's a couple other people running in that race. You've got John McKinney, who is getting the Nathan Hochman and police union support, and then you have Ida Ashuri, who is a little further to the left, but also less well funded.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Roy. I am going to go with Roy. I'm definitely not going to go with the incumbent for various reasons.
Okay, so LA City Controller, you and I spent some time talking about that off the air. They are not giving a recommendation on that race, which is interesting because the incumbent, of course, is Kenneth Mejia, young, first Filipino guy to have citywide office, and he's definitely a progressive. He was a housing activist. And tenant rights activist. And then you have Sokoloff, who's going against him, Zach Sokoloff, who was in here yesterday. They've both been on this week. I suggest you listen to both interviews. But Sokoloff is coming he's a real estate developer and a Hollywood, I guess he's a Hollywood mover and shaker.
Is that right? And you want to be controller of LA City. Well, I'm obviously going to vote for Kenneth Mejia because, I mean, he's good at his job. I mean, the job is to be the auditor, the financial. You trying to audit the purse strings. He's lifting up, things that need to be lifted up in terms of like fiscal responsibility. So I think in terms of the job of controller, he's doing an amazing job. And for somebody that's an entertainment real estate developer. I mean, and spending millions of dollars. You got your mama spending $2.5 million, more million. It's like it makes you really trying to buy the race. And I don't think that you have demonstrated through your past. I'm like you said, like, look at what somebody has done. I don't know this person and why they would even want to do it. You know, why they even want to do this job, and what experience and care have you shown in previous work that you are dedicated to this? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think that, listen to the interviews. Like you said off the air, it is unusual for someone's mom, and I think it might be up to $5 million now, to just have deep pockets and say, I'm going to back my son in this race. He has some ideas, which he articulated about what he wants to do in the office, but it's interesting that the kind of Democratic establishment is backing this man who's never been in office and has turned against the incumbent here.
Yeah, it's very disappointing it doesn't look good in my eyes as what I call myself as a person who's pro-progress. You know what I'm saying? To think about somebody earning a vote. Like, I don't understand what Mejia didn't do that wasn't progressive or democratic. He involves the people. He makes the data good for people to digest, for people to understand how the office works and how their tax dollars are at work. And I just don't understand why they would go. But anyways, it's not for me to understand. I'm voting for Mejia. I encourage you to take a closer look at all the candidates, but I feel like he's doing an amazing job.
Well, yeah, and there's only 2 in the controller's race. I do think it's interesting that when you get a young guy, because Mejia's a millennial.
Yeah.
He's not Gen Z. I think he's a millennial, but he's a young millennial.
Mm-hmm.
And no one really paid attention to the controller's race.
Nobody.
But he went on TikTok. He's been on Instagram,
making it cool,
and making people pay attention. And now we've never seen this much money or attention paid to the controller's race.
That something?
It really is quite wild.
It's like you discovering a gold nugget in the river in San Francisco, mining for gold. Like, this job became so valuable all of a sudden. Why is that? Because I guess because people didn't know the level of transparency and accountability and magnifying that you could do in this job. Kenneth Mejia is so good at his job. He making people want to spend, realizing how important the job is, and making them want to spend millions of dollars on the race.
And it is interesting, we did talk about this too, that job has often gone in the past to a termed out council member or another Democratic Party perennial, like a regular, and sort of they either launch from there to something else, or they go off into the sunset after doing that job. And because now somebody from outside who's a CPA got into the job, now the Democratic Party has moved. They endorsed Mejia the first time. Now they're endorsing the challenger. And
why? I know what I'm saying. I wonder what they reason for. I don't know. We can't get into it. It's politics.
Well, we could get into it. You figure people don't like having their feathers ruffled. They don't like having to deal with data in a way that they may not have any control over.
Yeah.
Because a young person is going to do what young people do. They're not necessarily going to always follow the party dictates.
He the one to show how they spend all that money on helicopters, how the police budget's getting all this money, and all our services and parks and programs are barely getting anything. Kenneth Mejia is the one that lifted that up. He lifted up the budget as the moral document that it is, and seeing where the city's morals at is where they put their money, and people don't like it.
Yeah. Well, 800-920-1580 if you got a question. There's a lot more, but this would take us all day. We may do a little bit more of this labor endorsement schedule, or you can call us 800-920-1580. I don't know. Have you made up your mind? I'll ask you when we come forward. Have you made up your mind about the cannabis measure? That's one. One and the school board. I feel like I'm a little behind on those. We'll talk about this and more when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
Let's be real. For too long, too many of our students have sat in overcrowded classrooms in underfunded public schools.
But as head of the San Diego School Board, Richard Barrera changed that.
Under Barrera's leadership, student literacy rose from the state average all the way to #1 among major urban school districts. Barrera led the way for smaller classrooms and for teachers to be paid what they're worth.
Barrera funded more counselors and mental health services, and community schools that teach real-world skills for future jobs.
A community organizer who became an education leader to fight for our kids. The only candidate for State Superintendent of Public Instruction.
Backed by the 310,000 classroom educators of the California Teachers Association. Vote Democrat Richard Barrera for State Superintendent.
Ad paid for by California Teachers Association Independent Expenditure Committee, not authorized by a candidate or committee controlled by a candidate.
Let me tell you something about Los Angeles. This city doesn't have small problems, so it damn sure doesn't need small, weak leadership. That's why I support Karen Bass. She walked into a system that was slow, broken, and reluctant to change. She cut through red tape and started moving people off the streets into housing. She created the Office of Community Safety to make our neighborhood safer, supported wage increases for many underpaid workers, expanded contract opportunities for small minority business, and signed an executive order to give formerly incarcerated people a second chance. Karen Bass is about real change. I'm Samuel L. Jackson, and I've seen a lot of people talk tough. Karen Bass is tough. That's why I'm voting for Karen Bass, and you should too. So vote today. You received your ballot in the mail by now. You don't even have to go to the polls. Just fill out your ballot and hand it to your postal worker. No stamp needed.
Paid for by re-elect Karen Bass for Mayor 2026, 445 South Figueroa Street, Suite 2400, Los Angeles, California 90071. Funding details at ethics.lacity.gov.
Are you still pouring gallons and gallons of water into a thirsty lawn that never seems to get enough water? LADWP has a special offer for a free water-saving front yard refresh available to eligible LADWP residential customers. LADWP handles all the work, including lawn removal, installing an efficient irrigation system, and planting beautiful California-friendly plants. Save water and lower your bill with a free front yard refresh. See if you qualify at LADWP.com/LEAP. That's LADWP.com/LEAP.
Knock, knock, Capital One Bank guy.
Wow, Charles Barkley?
I just moved into the neighborhood. Can I borrow some Wi-Fi?
Sure, Chuck. That's what the Capital One Cafe is here for, open 7 days a week.
Oh, can I use your ATM? My dog walker only takes cash.
Anything for a neighbor.
Can I try the catchphrase?
Sure, take it for a spin.
There's no fees or minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
Nice, Chuck. I'll take it from here. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Visit CapitalOne.com/bank guide for details. Capital One and a member FDIC.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
Yeah, okay. So I was asking Sherri about LA City Measure CB, which is about cannabis. And it's meant to tax unlicensed cannabis shops. So the people that jump through hoops, i.e. all these social equity folks who pay taxes, have a hard time competing with the ones that aren't licensed because they don't have to pay taxes, so they can sell the cannabis cheaper. But I don't know, because it seems really weird to me. Like, how are you going to tax a bootleg business? How are you going to get them to pay the tax? And yet also, it's not fair that the licensed business have to compete with the tax. You know, I know of one business, cannabis business, black-owned, that got raided, their cash register, all the money taken by the cops because they owe tax. But they won't do that to the unlicensed ones. So I can't figure it out because it seems stupid. How are you going to collect tax from someone that's not even licensed? If they're bootleg, what makes you think they're going to pay taxes? But on the other hand, shouldn't they owe taxes? Are we giving them a free ride? It's confusing.
Yeah, it's very confusing. And for that reason, you know, if you start a policy with bad facts, it's a bad law. So it's like the fact that it doesn't make sense. I'm not going to vote for it because it's like, number one, if you know somebody's unlicensed, then shut them down. Like, why are you allowing them to still operate? You know, that's one glaring thing. Because if they're unlicensed, that means they're not going through the same checks and balances. They're not, having to comply with the same. Like, to your point, like these other people are going through complying with the law and yet paying more money.
And being penalized by being raided. Why don't you raid the unlicensed ones?
Right.
And then, but what the current city attorney said when she was in here is that we don't have the resources to shut down all of those.
That's why she needs to be out of a job. Because you don't have the resources to start somewhere. You just going to ignore all of them? It don't make no sense. And I really, I got to do a little research on this one. But it sound, I don't know who backing it financially, but it doesn't sound right. I mean, I always have empathy for the back in the day, the little weed man on the corner, the nickel dime sack,
who's now out
of a job. That got thrown in jail, had to duck and dodge, and got treated so bad just trying to make a living. And you got the government up here heavily taxing people. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Well, the nickel and dime bag man may be back in business because the dispensaries, you got to show ID, and they're more expensive.
Man, you might as well just let these people be independent contractors.
Although, to be honest, most dispensaries, how do I know this? Don't ask me. But most of the ones I've seen, they seem to have a low cost option.
Right.
They seem to have a dime bag option. Let's go to Paul calling us from L.A. Paul, good morning.
Good morning, ladies. How you doing today?
Good. What's on your mind?
I'm blessed. Just got to cross off my bucket list to be Sherri in person. So that was a great experience.
Oh,
yay!
You, good to meet you.
Yeah, she's a great one.
The only Dorsey Don I'm okay with.
Oh, bipartisanship.
We got to stick together sometimes, no?
For sure. But I just wanted to throw kind of my 2 cents in on the actual governor's race and the candidates themselves. Not to say that I'm a junkie on it. I just go and I look at not just their policies, their platforms, but also what they've done in their time, right? And I'm not anti-Becerra. Let me be sure of that. He's a safe pick for people. He's the usual status quo if you want just to be comfortable, right? But I'm looking at what exactly is going to be the most beneficial to me and my community overall. And when I hear people talk about Steyer and they say, "Oh, he was investing in basically in private prisons and everything," and I say, "Well, do you know he divested in 2006?" And then I follow up with, "Did you know in 2007, him and his wife actually opened up and created Beneficial State Bank, which actually gave business loans to low income communities?" In Oakland during that time frame, the population of black people was 30%, was roughly 114,000 people. So who do you think were the people that were getting those small business loans?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like I don't know. It sounds like you're leaning towards Steyer.
Well, because I was also in the room when he's of all the candidates, he's the only one that actually answered and talked to the question, the big elephant in the room in regards to reparations. He directly out of his mouth said and reiterated, he supports reparations for descendants of those enslaved. I would have liked to ask more specific questions about that, didn't get the opportunity, but no other candidate is answering that question in the room. And also of the people that were in the population were some of the actual CBLC were there too. So sometimes you got to read the room, y'all. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, and you've heard me talk about this, is I was having a conversation with someone who I don't know if they want to be named, and they were talking about how they don't want to be bought. And it seems like Steyer is spending so much money that he's trying to buy their vote. What do you say about that, Paul?
Okay. I love that question because then you're not a Madani person because he came from money. Then you definitely couldn't be an FDR person because he came from money, right? My issue is I'm not looking for friends and I'm not trying to find the perfect candidate. What I'm looking for is what your policy platform is, what have you done during your time frame, and what can I use to get the most resources for my community as possible. I don't look for friends. I look for what is the best option for my community overall that can win because no matter what, someone's going to win.
Yeah, I mean, that's the part about being strategic, not scared. What do you say, Sherri?
No, I agree with that. And I feel like people should look more closely. Like, don't just, this is a big decision. And like what Paul brought to light are factual pieces of information that often get left out of the conversation from people who know that. People know that information, but they want to lift up the ladder, right? Like what he did in the past. So, I just, like make sure to try to, look at, like, take that into account. You got to vote before June 2nd. In-person voting, I believe, opens maybe this weekend. I believe
I have it somewhere.
They have provisional voting. You can vote. You can vote register to vote in person if you missed the deadline of register online. But yeah, vote, please. Just vote. Use these resources. Use these conversations. Use the conversations with the candidates themselves to make a well-informed decision and not listen just to commercials.
No, please don't just listen to commercials.
from people who are opponents of the person, right? Just dig a little deeper. And I'm glad that you lifted that up because not a lot of people knew about the community banks, right? That's not well publicized. So.
And that's intentional. And those things are intentional. And that's why, like, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling people what to do. What I am telling my people is the one thing you can't do is just stay on the couch. Staying on the couch is no solution. You want to complain about things that are wrong in the community, but the one thing you have to exercise your power and your opinion and your beliefs is your vote. So staying on the couch is not an option.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think that's super important, especially with the governor. I also agree with you, Paul. We got to be strategic. I do not think governor or mayor is the place for your protest vote. I think Paul is right. To me, strategy means figure out who delivers the most benefit to my community and my political philosophy agenda, which also is meant to benefit my community. And then of those folks, who can win?
Yeah.
And that's and I also learned this from Willie Brown, who has delivered in the past. What have they done? It doesn't have to be in office. It could be while they were supporting an initiative. It could be while they were in business. Who has delivered? And to me, those are really the main questions. And then get off the couch.
Hey, and I'll just leave it with this, you lady. Thank you for your time. Listen to our sisters. The Black Queen is everything, because what they say be spot on every time. You two ladies have a great day.
Thank you, Paul.
92%.
The 92% is in the building. Hey, Sherri, thank you so much once again for your insights and your courage. And remind folks how to find you.
You can find me on Instagram, Sherri De La Ghetto. I'm also an active member of the LA Black Workers Center. We're going to be at City Hall. When is that? Next Thursday. Follow LA Black Workers Center on Instagram for more updates on the work that we do. And thank you all for being who you are out there listening, for your insight, for your willingness to learn.
Thank you, Sherri Bell. We're talking reparations next. It's a Freedman Friday, and Senator Stephen Bradford is in the building. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. President Trump has called off signing a new AI executive order, citing concerns it could slow U.S. innovation.
I didn't like certain aspects of it. I postponed it. I really thought that could have been a blocker, and I want to make sure that it's not.
The proposal would have required companies to submit new AI models for